I never thought I'd kill a man with kindness until the night I watched my own reflection slit her wrists in a penthouse bathroom, blood pooling like spilled Merlot on marble tiles, all while I screamed silently from the inside of her stolen skin. That's the hook they don't teach you in Harvard Business School. Revenge isn't a checklist, it's a full-body transplant. And when your soul gets evicted from your flesh, the only way back is through the veins of the people who did it to you. But let's rewind to the moment it all cracked open, because nothing says, "Welcome to the American dream," like catching your mentor and his princess rifling through your life like it was yesterday's trash. It was a Tuesday in late October, the kind of Chicago autumn where the wind off Lake Michigan bites harder than any recession. I'd been grinding at Sterling and Voss for 6 years, long enough to know the difference between a compliance audit and a witch hunt. My desk was a fortress of spreadsheets and coffee stains, the last bastion of a girl from the South Side who'd clawed her way into this glass tower on Michigan Avenue without a trust fund or a daddy's Rolodex. Aaliyah Jenkins, 32, senior analyst. That's me. Or was, until that night. I'd forgotten my flash drive. Stupid. I know. But deadlines don't care about your keys. The elevator dinged at 11:47 p.m. The floor silent except for the hum of the HVAC and the distant wail of a siren. My office was a cubicle farm turned executive warren. All sleek lines and motivational posters about disruptive innovation that nobody believed in anymore. I rounded the corner, heels muffled on the carpet, and there they were, Harlan Voss, my boss. The silver fox who'd promised me partnership tracks and boardroom seats. And his daughter, Eliza Voss, the 28-year-old wunderkind who'd earned her VP spot through daddy's nepotism and a Wharton pedigree. They weren't just poking around, they were ransacking. Drawers yanked open, files spilling like guts from a fresh kill. Harlan's gloved hand, gloved, for Christ's sake, rifling through my inbox tray, while Eliza snapped photos on her phone, her Botox-smooth face lit by the screen's glow. My blood turned to lake-effect ice. "What the hell are you doing?" They froze like deer in headlights. But Harlan recovered first, that politician's smile sliding into place.
Aaliyah.
Burning the midnight oil? We were just
Conducting a spot check.
compliance protocols. You know how it is. Eliza tucked her phone away, all wide-eyed innocence.
Yeah.
Dad's orders. Nothing personal. Bullshit. I'd seen the ledgers. Months ago, I'd flagged irregularities in the hedge fund trades, offshore shells, phantom clients, the kind of paper trail that screamed SEC subpoena. Harlan had patted my back, called me his secret weapon, and buried the report in a pending review folder. Now this, they were planting something. Evidence to make me the fall guy. I stepped forward, heart hammering like a subprime mortgage default. Spot check my ass. That's my performance eval in your hand.
Harlan.
And Eliza, if that's my hard drive you're eyeing. Careful. Aaliyah, Harlan said, voice dropping to that boardroom timbre that had crushed lesser souls. Accusations like that could end a career. Eliza smirked, flipping her blonde bob. Or start an investigation. I snatched the file from his grip. Pages fluttering. Falsified signatures. My name forged on approval docs for those shady trades. My stomach dropped. They'd been planning this. Betrayal hit like a gut punch, not just professional, but personal. Harlan had mentored me since day one. Wine and dine dinners where he talked civil rights icons like they were golf buddies, promised to break the glass ceiling for girls like you. And Eliza? We'd bonded over late nights. Her venting about daddy issues, Me sharing stories of my mom's church choir and my brother's stint in Cook County. Sisters? Almost.
Lies.
All of it. Get out, I whispered, voice cracking. Both of you. Harlan straightened his tie, eyes cold as the loop in January. We'll discuss this in the morning. Bright and early, they sauntered out, leaving chaos in their wake. I collapsed into my chair, hands shaking as I pieced it together. The trades were mistakes. They were embezzlement. Harlan skimming millions through Eliza's innovative algorithms, laundering it via Caribbean trusts. And me, the black woman in the firm, the one who'd risen too fast, perfect scapegoat for the inevitable audit. Diversity hire turned diversity problem. By dawn, the feds were at my door. Not Harlan's penthouse. Not Eliza's Gold Coast condo, my walk-up in Bronzeville. Raids. Cuffs. The whole circus. Wire fraud. Aaliyah. Signatures match yours. Harlan's testimony sealed it. She was ambitious. Too ambitious. Trial was a blur of public defenders and plea deals. 5 years. Federal pen in Terre Haute. I lost everything. Job. Savings. The little dignity I'd scraped together. Mom cried at sentencing. Dad stared at the floor like I'd shamed the family name. How could you? Baby girl? I couldn't tell them the truth. Not without proof. And proof? Buried under Voss family lawyers. Prison was hell's waiting room. Nights in a 6x8 with roaches for company. Days shuffling to the library where I pored over legal tomes, plotting. But it was the dreams that broke me. Vivid, feverish visions of Harlan and Eliza laughing over champagne, toasting the Jenkins fix. And then, the whispers. Inmates talked of a witch in the rec yard, an old Creole woman named Mama Rue, who fixed debts with hoodoo older than the blues. I sought her out one rainy afternoon, the yard mud like Mississippi clay. Mama Rue was all bone and braided gray, eyes like smoked quartz. Child, you carry a wrong heavier than chains. Tell me how to unmake it, I begged. She cackled, toothless and knowing. Ain't no unmaking. But swapping? That's old magic. Souls for souls. You take theirs, they take yours. Price is steep, your light dims with every breath in stolen skin. Desperation makes theologians of us all. I paid. A lock of hair from my last visitor, Mom. God forgive me. Blood from a cut palm. And a promise to burn sage under a full moon. That night, in my bunk, the world inverted. Pain first like birthing lightning. Then darkness, swirling like the Chicago River in flood. When I woke, it wasn't to bars and fluorescent buzz. Silk sheets, skyline view, the scent of Chanel No.
5.
I bolted upright, staring at hands that weren't mine, pale, manicured, Eliza's. The swap. I'd done it. I was in her body. And somewhere, in my cell, Eliza Voss was waking to the nightmare of my life. Panic clawed my throat, but so did power. Mirror confirmed it, her face, her form, but my fire in the eyes. Phone buzzed, Harlan. Eliza. Darling. Audits tomorrow. Remember your lines about Jenkins. I smiled. Eliza's perfect teeth gleaming. Game on. Being Eliza Voss was like slipping into a designer straitjacket. Everything fit too well. Too expensively. But it chafed against my soul. Her closet was a shrine to Louboutins and La Perla, her calendar a parade of brunches and Botox touch-ups. I mimicked her laugh in the shower, practiced her Valley Girl lilt over room service eggs Benedict.
Daddy.
You're the best, I'd coo into the mirror, hating every syllable. First move, Intel. Eliza's laptop was a gold mine, password Harlan Sr. 1, because subtlety was for peasants. Encrypted folders spilled secrets, emails to Cayman bankers. Ledgers showing $47 million siphoned over 2 years. Harlan's masterstroke? Using my Aaliyah's access codes for the trades, then forging my sign-off. I'd been the ghost in the machine, blamed for glitches they engineered. But deeper cuts. Harlan's affair with a junior exec. Eliza's coke habit funding research trips to Ibiza. And the kicker, a hidden drive labeled contingency. Videos.
Me.
Drugged at that team-building retreat in Napa. Harlan's voice off camera. Sign it. Aaliyah. Or your brother's parole board hears about that juvie beef he buried. Blackmail. They'd pinned an old assault charge on my brother Jamal, dropped, but weaponized, to force my hand on the docs. I'd signed, thinking it was routine, and damned myself. Rage boiled, but I played the part. Morning meeting at the office. Harlan's corner suite overlooking the bean. He hugged me, her, too tight. Cologne like old money and regret. Eliza, you look radiant. Nervous about testifying? I fluttered lashes. A little, Daddy. But we'll nail her. Inside. I plotted nails of my own. The audit was theater, SEC suits and ill-fitting Brooks Brothers. Harlan spinning yarns about rogue elements. My cue, I caught Aaliyah altering files. She threatened me if I said anything. Gasps.
Nods.
Harlan beamed like I'd cured cancer. Post-meeting. Power lunch at the Gauge. Harlan loosened his tie over scotch. You're a natural.
Kiddo.
Once Jenkins rots, the fun's ours. No more sharing the pie with. Diversity quotas. I sip my martini, extra olives. Eliza's vice, fingering the napkin like a noose. Speaking of pie. Dad. That Napa trip. Wild times. His eyes sharpened. What about it? Just reminiscing. The wine.
The
signatures. I leaned in, voice dropping. You ever worry it'll come back to bite? He chuckled, but tension wired his jaw. Worries for winners who lose. We don't lose.
we.
The royal we of thieves. That night, in Eliza's body, I hit the town, her town. Gold Coast bars where trust fund kids dropped daddy's plastic like confetti. I flirted with a hedge fund bro named Chad. Let him buy rounds while I pumped for dirt. Voss? Yeah. Old Harlan slippery. Heard he iced a partner back in '08, crash cover-up. Eliza? Daddy's little enabler. Snorts lines off the annual report. Validation. But not enough. I needed leverage. Back at the penthouse, I deep-dived Eliza's texts to a fixer, contact, payments for document enhancement. The forgeries weren't in-house. They'd outsourced to a South Loop chop shop run by ex-cons.
Decision time.
Controversial? Hell yes. I could have gone public, blown the whistle from this porcelain perch. But Aaliyah Jenkins didn't climb towers by playing nice. Revenge meant descent, dragging them into the abyss I'd clawed out of. Step 1. Sowed out. Anonymous tip to the SEC. Routed through a VPN on Eliza's Mac. Check Voss Sr.'s Napa footage. Jenkins wasn't alone. Let them dig. Step 2. Personal. I invited Harlan to girls' night at a Wicker Park dive. Ironic. Slumming it. He showed. Armani slumming in flannel. Over IPAs. I pushed. Dad. What if Aaliyah talks?
Prison makes people.
Vengeful. He waved it off. She's broken.
Besides,
We own her narrative. Do we? I slid my phone across, screenshots from the contingency drive, blurred just enough. His face drained like bad Botox. Eliza, where did you? Curious, right? Imagine if Jamal Jenkins got these. Or the Sun Times.
panic flickered.
What do you want? Out. I lied. The fund. My name on it. No more shadows. He bought it. Nodding slow. We'll talk terms. But careful, darling. Family sticks together.
Family.
The word soured like curdled cream.
Meanwhile,
Whispers from the swap. Dreams of my old body. Eliza trapped inside, clawing at cell bars. Her screams echoing in my skull. Mama Rue's price. The dimming light.
nights.
I'd wake sweating. Eliza's reflection mocking me. Was I becoming her?
Zamira lied.
But the mirror never tells the whole truth. Escalation. I tailed the fixer. A weaselly type named Rocco in an Englewood warehouse. Eliza's beamer stuck out like a sore thumb, but desperation blinds. Inside printing presses, stacks of bogus stocks. I confronted him, voice steady in her timbre.
Voss sends regards.
And a message, tie up loose ends. Rocco sneered. Tell Harlan he owes me for the Jenkins job. Bitch took the fall clean. I pulled the Beretta from Eliza's glove box, her protection for club nights, and pressed it to his temple. Controversial? In America, self-defense starts where fear ends. Loose ends like you? He spilled. Harlan's full scheme. From insider tips on the 22 crypto crash to bribing the DA for Jamal's file. And the secret, the buried one. Harlan's first wife. Eliza's mom. OD'd not on pills, but on Harlan's stress relief, coke stash. Covered up as accident. Eliza knew. Helped bury it.
Gun down.
I fled. Heart pounding. Power surged, but so did the cost. Our hands shook, not from fear, but fracture. The swap frayed. Edges of Aaliyah bled through. Phantom pains in joints that weren't mine. Climax brewed at the firm's holiday gala. Magnificent mile ballroom dripping crystal and hypocrisy. Harlan announced justice served, toasting my bravery. I stood beside him. Eliza's gown hugging like a vice. Smiling for flashbulbs.
Then,
The drop. SEC burst in. Badges gleaming. Harlan Voss. You're under arrest for fraud and coercion. Cuffs clicked. Gasps rippled. He thrashed, eyes locking on me. Eliza? What have you done? I leaned close, whispering Aaliyah's truth. It's not your daughter. Harlan.
it's the fall guy.
And I've got the footage. Chaos. Guests fleeing. Reporters swarming. Eliza's phone, my prop, broadcast the Napa vid live on X. My forged signature morphing into Harlan's coercion rant. The crowd turned, whispers to roars. But twist, as sirens wailed. A guard yanked me aside. MS. Voss, we've got a problem. Your cellmate in Terre Haute, Jenkins, just shanked a CO. Says she's you. The swap reversed? Or fractured? Pain lanced, bodies blurring. Harlan laughed from cuffs. You think you're free? Blood calls to blood. In the ambulance, mine. Hers, Mama Rue's voice echoed. Price paid.
Child.
But whose light now? Reversal hit like a magnificent mile pileup, 1 minute. I'm toasting victory in Eliza sequence. The next. The world's inverting again. Souls slamming back like faulty elevators. Pain was biblical, organs twisting, skin crawling off bones. Sirens Dopplered. Then silence. I woke to concrete and bleach. Not penthouse marble. My hands, dark, calloused. Mine, cuffed to a hospital gurney. Terre Haute Medical. Lockdown wing. Nurses buzzed. Docs in scrubs murmuring psychotic break. The shanking? Eliza. In my body. Had snapped, lunged at a guard with a pilfered shank. Screaming, I'm not her. Voss framed me. Lockdown. Solitary. But the damage? My broadcast from the gala went viral, Vossgate trending. Harlan's empire crumbling in real time. Feds sorted it fast. Charges flipped. Harlan and Eliza, back in her skin. Catatonic and county indicted on everything fraud, blackmail, even manslaughter for Mom Voss. Jamal's record expunged. Mom got the call from the DA himself. Your girl's a hero.
Ma'am. Hero.
The word tasted like ash. I was out on technicals, body swap deemed delusional episode, but the evidence stuck. Sterling and Voss folded. I sued for defamation. Walked with 7 figures. Southside walk-up upgraded to Hyde Park brownstone. Therapy sessions with a shrink who nodded at my metaphors, without committing. But the twist, the real gut twister, was the letter. Delivered post-swap. Scrawled on Voss letterhead. Harlan's chicken scratch. You think you won? Jenkins? That magic was mine. Mama Rue? My great-gran. Blood debt from the plantation days. Swaps for swaps. I put you in her to break you slower. Enjoy the money. It's tainted. Tainted how? Digging revealed. The fund's winnings laundered through Rue's hoodoo network. Curses baked in. Folks who'd invested cursing their losses to hell. My settlement? Cursed cash. Neighbors sickened. Jamal's new job tanked in freak accidents. The light Mama warned of? Mine. Flickering out. Final decision. Controversial to the core. Burn it. I torched the check at Mom's church. Flames dancing like Rue's braids. Whispering prayers for the dead. No penthouse. No revenge glow, just me. Aaliyah Jenkins. Back in my skin. Scarred but standing. Harlan died in custody, suicide.
They said.
Eliza? Institutionalized. Babbling about the black woman inside. Debatable ending. Justice or just another loop in the machine. Did I free myself? Or feed the beast? America loves a comeback, but hates the cost.
Me?
I walk the lakefront at dawn. Wind whispering debts unpaid. Some swaps you can't undo. And if you see 2 shadows in a high-rise glow, rifling drawers that aren't theirs, run. Or join the dance.